On today's show, the Xiaomi Mi A2 Lite mobile phone. Starting at $249, is this budget-friendly phone really as good as they say it is? Let's find out. Welcome everyone to my weekly tech vibe. My name is Chris and today I'm going to review the Mi A2 Lite, which to be honest surprised me on so many fronts. From its clean software, great hardware and battery that puts many others to shame. This thing should be on your shopping list if you're in the market for a new phone, especially if you're like me and don't want to sell off your right kidney. No. First impressions of this phone will make you think that you're actually looking at maybe an iPhone, right? Those minimal bezels, dual camera setup, and the overall design is strikingly similar to the new iPhone XR, and people have mistaken this phone for a way more expensive one. This rather fetching blue model features an aluminium body with a well-placed fingerprint sensor, a 5.84-inch LCD screen running at 1080 by 2280 in 19 by 9 ratio, has 432 pixels per inch, and that's about the right resolution like the iPhone X as Pixel 3, but not the Samsung S9 levels. Screen brightness is impressive. This thing is bright, and I mean really bright, so much so that you can run it pleasingly at 50% brightness and still use it outside in direct sunlight. Adaptive brightness is okay, but just like many other phones in this price point, it suffers from the usual lag of adapting to changing conditions. With a screen to body ratio of about 80%, they're not just tolerable, but folks, the sooner we get rid of these things, the better. Weirdly, it doesn't utilize full screen when running YouTube videos. It's a software thing, so hopefully if Xiaomi, if you're watching this, hey, please consider changing it. I'd appreciate it. Running around the outside of the phone, you've got your volume up and down, power lock button, 3.5mm heated jack, speaker and infrared blaster. Those rear cameras are actually really only one, with the primary 12 megapixel f.2 doing all the work and the secondary 5 megapixel merely serving as a depth sensor. I'll get to photo and video samples shortly, but let me just say that this camera is not half bad. On the front of the phone, a 5 megapixel selfie produces pleasing pics, but nothing stellar and well, fine for social media consumption, but not much else. On top, the ear speaker is pleasant and loud and calls are clear. Internally, the A2 runs pretty smoothly with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 625 octa-core processor. Running at 2 GHz, the phone is helped by an Adreno 506 GPU, and depending on which version you get, it either runs on the 3 GB of RAM with 32 GB of storage or 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of storage, which means to you and me, it runs pretty fluidly with animations, swapping between apps, and you seldom see stuttering. And a standout this phone is its massive battery. At 4000 mAh, it provides plenty of all-day performance with plenty left in reserve at the end of the day. In fact, maybe as much as 3 days? Maybe. For those who need it, you can load up 2 SIM cards as well as a micro SD card for increased storage. Of course, you get the usual connectivity options with Bluetooth 4.2 and Wi-Fi standards, B, G and N, but weirdly not AC, which I guess is where like budget phones start to kick in. So, what are you missing? NFC? Nope. And micro USB charging? Yeah. There's no quick charging either, despite what it says. Supporting all this hardware is Android One version 8.1, and for those who, like me, don't know what Android One is, I'll give you a brief primer. Initially offered by Google in 2014 to accredited manufacturers, generally in the Asia area, they require OEMs to meet specific technical standards of hardware and software. By 2017, Android One is available in 36 markets like Russia, Asia, Europe, and LG, Motorola, Xiaomi, Nokia, HTC, they all offer a phone and get your Android baked in. This is a real vanilla experience with regular updates, security patches for 2 years, meaning that your phone does all those good things like Play Protect, smart battery management, and unlimited high quality photos. Oh, and almost no bloatware or silly overlays. So, before I wrap this up, if you haven't already, please consider giving this thumb a big thumbs up and subscribe. Yeah, Wicked Tech Vibe, I put videos out like every Wednesday and Friday. I talk about how technology can improve your life and create a better world. So, Let's get into photo and video samples. This phone is good but not brilliant, and definitely not flagship killer quality. Nope, this phone is rather well balanced so long as you've got good light. Colors look nice, not overly saturated, but see how in some samples you get a rather over the top skin smoothing going on. If you zoom in even further, oh, it's a mess, with obvious pixels and treatment of fine details lost. Low light is pretty much a don't bother. You get tons of noise and splotchy sections of really bad averaging going on, and oh goodness no. The front facing camera provides a similar experience with only a small drop in quality and definitely a more generous facelift. Video's alright at 1080 and rolling shutters to be expected at this price point, and sound quality okay. If you're looking to take the world by storm with some stunning Insta pics or trying to compete with way more expensive phones, then look elsewhere. For its price, it's hard not to recommend this phone for those who are on a budget and maybe entering the market for the first phone. Or you just can't rationalize those heady prices that are being commanded by flagship phone makers like Apple and Google. Tech citizens of the interwebs, this phone is a bargain and worthy of your consideration. Nothing comes close to the Mi A2 Lite, especially at this price. If you use your phone as a candid camera, consume some social media, and not want some of the higher price phones with the questionable value add-ons, then I would point you towards this phone. The Mi A2 Lite has a premium design, great display, zippy performance, and stock Android experience with guaranteed security updates directly from Google. This is a great buy.